Well, welcome back, my legion of faithful followers. Episode 36. We've got painting number 27 of 48. We've got Maine, design work. We've got the art exhibit, postcard, and Throwback Thursday, Journey to Ukazoo, slide number 12. And with that, let's go. And yes, it is a yes. Just like most of the episodes, we're going to look at one of the paintings from the art book, painting number 27 of the 48, doodle, worksheet, and finish painting, easel. Hello, Bob. Okay, circled in red is the doodle used for painting number 27 of the 48. And that SW, that's a story within a story that's part of the book's preface and appendix. Okay, while doing the grid lines and some preliminary ideas, I happened to notice these two faces right here circled in blue, and I decided to try and incorporate them into the drawing. And true to form, here's the worksheet. And here's the finished image. The title is Crosstalk, and it's an oil on board. Last episode, regarding the trip to Maine and the design work I was going to be working on, I said I was going to show you a bunch of visuals in progression, and I didn't do that. So that calls for a recap. What you have here is my first conceived rough sketch of what I envisioned the book layout would be. Right here is where I would be placing the doodle. And this would be the worksheet. You can see the grid lines. And then here would be the finished image with the band name, the title of the album. And then this would be the story text right here. And this is my first attempt at a measured layout of the design. And as you can see, I added this center design with a narrow box with a little bit of artwork in here that might reflect on the text of the album. And as you can see, I had the doodle here, the worksheet here, and then what I did was I put the finished image as an album cover right here next to this text. Another attempt, and we saw this visual last episode. It still has the narrow center box. I moved the finished image with the band name under the worksheet image, as opposed to it being all the way over on the left. And the large finished image will be on the right, minus the text. The box is still narrow, but I worked out a box design to connect everything. Let me get Bob. I do have some open-end line work that I kind of liked, but I'm not sure. I reworked the text layout so I can include the band members right below here, right below the finished album design. More about all those band members, that box, in probably around episode 45 or so. Here's where I decided to widen this center box from 3/4 of an inch to an inch. I also connected one of the fade out lines down here to this little sphere design. Here's where I widened the box again to 1 1/8 inches. But I felt like the half circle above was just getting too big. I boxed in this fade out line on this side and that side so I could have a continuality of this green going through. Here I kept the box at 1 1/8 inches and shrunk the half circle in a little bit. On this one I boxed in all the rest of the faded line work so I could add additional color. And also seen in the last episode, this is where the design is presently, and I mentioned that I'm going to be working on enlarging this center box again. So with enlarging that box, what that means is I've got to do a whole new rough worksheet to see how that all looks, how the changes are going to be reflected in the design, what I'm going to leave out, alter, change, move, whatever. One of those terms. But anyhow, the next thing I'm going to show you is me finishing up as what I have as finished rough design. So here's pretty much a finished altered rough design of what I think, I'm pretty sure, I hope so, that this is what it's going to be. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it, I'm going to ink in all the line work, and then just take a good look at it to see if this is an adjustment that I want to keep, I want to make. that it's going to work. Okay, I'm starting to ink. One quick note, all the pencil work that I did on this worksheet, all was done measuring and the layout with straight edges. But when I get to the inking process, both here on this worksheet and when I do the finish design work, all that inking over those straight lines I do freehand. I'm not going to have you sit and watch me do this whole inking thing. I'm going to cut away and then be back, and then we'll go over the colors that I'm adding. See you in a bit. Okay, the line work has all been inked in. What I'm going to be doing now, or just did, was I cut out some visuals that I can put in the boxes of the doodle, the worksheet, and the finished painting, partial. And then I've got my little design that's going into the center, adjusted center box. And then I'm going to take color pencils and I'm going to start working in my colors. And that way I'll take you over to the easel and we can see how the whole thing looks and whether I use it or not. I guess that's the plan. I've got some various colors drawn into the boxes. What I'm going to do now is I'm putting a little sticky tape down in the boxes so I can put the visuals in the boxes so that when I take them over to the easel, they don't fall out of the boxes. See you in a second. Okay, I started to take it over to the easel. I looked at it. I decided that I needed to put some dot work in so I could visually see it just a little closer to what the design is actually going to be. Sorry about that. I'm going to finish up, then I'll take it over. I promise. Okay, let's see if I can make this work correctly. I've got a double visual set up here. What I have is the box widened from the 1 1/8 to 1 3/4. I took out the two little side radiuses, and then I put in a line down here on both sides and then put the color in here. The only thing I don't like, and this is where I'm going to drop down the other visual, is that I might take that line out. I sort of like this open area coming down. I mean, it would be minus these two radiuses, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to do another worksheet to take those two lines out and drop that color. I'm not doing it for this episode, though. That's something I'll work on next week. It might be one, it might be two more worksheets, so I can get this correct. And then next episode, we'll take another look at it. Does that explain everything? Anyhow, without further ado, if I can get through all this stuff here, Throwback Thursday, Journey to Ukazoo, slide number 12. So I packed up, I said my goodbyes to the owners of the inn and the Roadrunners, and I headed west, all the way into Arizona, and then made my next stop at Flagstaff. And here's the title block for the story page. And this is the open book page for slide 12. And then there's the story. 4 high school teenagers, a meeting at a diner that I went to that evening for a bite to eat. Over the course of a couple hours, despite the age difference, we became really good friends. So much so that they invited me to a recital that they were putting on that coming weekend. How it went? Hey, it's all in the book, people. All in the book. Anyhow, see you in a second. And here's the story image, titled 4 Dancers. It's a watercolor pen and ink. And the border artwork, there's the border for the text page, and this is the border art to the right under the image. And with that, it's end of episode. I've got a lot of work to do over the next few weeks, getting prepped for Maine. We're in the heart of the book, the design work in the text pages of the stories of the Maine paintings. So lots to do. With that, Take care. It's been wonderful. I've got musical guests for ending credits, and see you next time.